We are doing good. And you remembered my name. I'm happy.
Well, yes. It's easy to do Jen because of our mutual Jen that we know.
hmm
So I'm just picturing her and not looking at your face.
I
That
feel like
might
when
change the
I
conversation.
feel like when I get there next year and I actually see you in real life for the first time, I'm gonna be like, remember her real name?
Oh, so it's so not like that. Like a group of us hang out pretty frequently and we still call each other by screen names. Like,
Really?
yeah,
Like Cloudy. It's Cloudy, for instance.
Yuri is Yuri.
That's funny.
I don't
Well,
think I've
good.
ever called Sam and Seven to his face.
Yeah, but he's like
But
Sam on the podcast and
yeah.
in chats and stuff too. So I feel like that's more natural. Yeah.
Welcome to the live stream. Okay.
Thank you for
I'm
having me.
sorry. No, this shit. Okay. I know. I'm the one that's supposed to be like all put together and has all of our shit together, but this is gonna fail miserably for just a moment, chat, and
No,
I'm really sorry about that.
you're fine. If they don't see this, I feel like they'll be like, something's wrong.
Right?
Everything's
Everything
going
went
off
right.
without a hitch. What's happening? Ugh. I just feel
Mm,
bad because they can see when you're trying to figure something out. They don't see like the hours of me like Googling tutorials for audio or like research for episodes. Nobody sees me doing that. They just hopefully hear it.
there we go.
Wasting time.
Okay. Back.
Staring at my cat, trying to tell him to not make a fuss while we record this. But I don't want him to be loud. Demon cat. I don't know if if Jen's told you about my demon. I have one demon cat and one sweet potato perfect boy, and he does no wrong, and the other one only does wrong. But I still love him.
Oh gosh. Yeah, we have a cat too, and I'm team dog on the spectrum of animal lovers, and we have both a dog and a cat. I live with my brother, and so they're his pets.
hmm
The cat definitely tests me, but I cherish him.
Yeah, we have a dog as well, and a rabbit who is hanging out back there. If you see just his face, there's my baby, my sweet
Oh,
potato. I love my rabbit. He's a sassy bun, but he's the best. And everyone gets along. It's like a Disney movie in here.
I love that. See?
Well, only about the animals, not about the anti-Semitism.
Oh yes. Mhm.
Yeah. Like the nice animal princess version of Disney. That's my life. I love watching Jen's face when she does this.
I had so much of it up and ready to go. Like I was in voice chat earlier and I was like, all right, I'm going to get this set up, got this set up. I got everything set
hmm
up except for I didn't open up my restream chat module to make sure that I
Oh.
could actually see what's going on in chat. And then I didn't open up the script. And then for some reason, OBS is being weird today and not wanting to broadcast the Google Chrome screen. So I
Mm.
had to put everything back into one tab or one window. Anyways, it's a whole bunch of just behind the scenes shit that I need to take care of, and it's here now, and I'm good
It's just
now.
not behind the scenes anymore, is all. No big
No.
deal.
Right, because I had to do it on the
Movie magic
stream.
is being exposed.
I know.
That's fine.
They got to see what our scripting looks like for half a second.
Well, what
Hello,
this one looks
Yuri.
like. This one's a bit of a mess, but it's
Eh.
fine because it's a conversation. We're not like pre-planned stuff. My
You are
cat.
our first live interview that's not
Oh wow.
Yeah.
after an episode.
Come here,
Okay,
you. Stop.
You're special.
I often am.
Um, okay. Oh, wait, I can just move there. Okay, I think I'm finally freaking ready.
Yay. Oh, Mary.
Okay, there we go. Mm. Mm. Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Ship, the podcast where we analyze, rate, and review all that the world of video game romances has to offer. I'm Genesis, the girl who is at endgame of Dragon Age 2. I forgave my idiot boyfriend, and I'll take your complaints later.
Wow. Okay, yeah, we definitely have to unpack that later. I just, I just remembered who her boyfriend is in Dragon Age 2. And I'm Bravada, the girl who has spent entirely too long building a cottagecore house for my Sims today, because the Sims knows what we want and they give it to us.
Today, we have a very special guest, someone who I've known for far too many years, a man who once threw a Friends-themed birthday party, and is an absolute gem of a human. Please welcome my dear friend, former partner in crime, yet not an elusive man, Tim.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to
Yay.
be here.
I know that elusive man joke went way over your head, but our listeners know who the elusive man is.
Okay. So I have to catch up on all of your content and then I'll be in the know.
Yes. And or just play Mass Effect. Do that.
Yeah.
It's way better.
My sister-in-law plays a lot of games, so I bet you that if I said, do you know what Mass Effect is? She would know.
But we brought you on today to talk about The Sims, which has held such, like, it holds a very special place in my heart as for, like, a bunch of people that I know. Like, I don't think I've ever met anybody who doesn't know what The Sims is. But can you let our listeners know a little bit about you and your connection to The Sims?
Sure. So I am Tim Pancakes, which if you're a really avid Sims player, you'll know that reference. So I've been playing Sims since it began in 2000. I'm old, and I have just always loved that game. It's the only game I really play, so I don't know if I'm allowed to like wear the badge of a gamer or not, but I play it for hours and hours and hours. I get lost in the game. It's definitely my happy place and my special interest, and so I've played it since 2000 with The Sims 1, The Sims 2. I tried The Sims 3, but it kept crashing on my computer, and when that came out, I felt like, I was going into my 20s, and I felt like, I just need to give up gaming, be an adult, focus on my career. And I took a few years off. And then I came back to The Sims in 2017 and was delighted to find that The Sims 4 was a thing. And I've been playing it again ever since then. And I have a YouTube channel that is about The Sims called Tim Pancakes. Tim Pancakes. And I haven't posted in about a year because of the pandemic and life and all the things that has thrown at the world. But I have a lot of content that I want to start posting again. And so if you feel like checking me out, there are some speed builds there, some opinion videos, and there's more content to come.
Yay, I'm excited for it. I've watched quite a few of your videos just because I love the game and I love you. So I was like, all right, we're going to watch Tim's videos.
Oh, thanks.
So when it was brought up in one of the Discord chats of like, what games should we cover on this podcast? Somebody, I believe it was She Cup, she brought up, somebody needs to talk about The Sims. And I was like, I know just the guy to bring onto this. And then I text you. And then you never text me back. And I had to text you again like a few months later going, hey, did you still want to do this?
I feel like I responded, but maybe I didn't. Again, the pandemic.
Yeah.
I just blame that for everything. So, yes.
It is a very good excuse.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would have done the same thing.
I'm just going to ride that wave as long as I can.
Tim, it's 2030. You can't blame everything on the pandemic. Let's see. So yeah, it did come out. I like wrote notes down about like how things started with The Sims, but now it seems like they've gone away. Is somebody deleting out of these notes?
No.
I
But I'll do
can't
my
do it.
best to just know everything.
I'm not sure what you're looking for, but
There
I
we
didn't
go. Yeah.
catch it. Okay. Like it wasn't me.
No, because I was fact checking you right in the moment, because it was released in February of 2000, and so I was
Oh yeah,
like, is it really that old?
sure
Um,
is. And I only know that it wasn't like it came out and I saw a commercial and was like, I must have that game. I don't remember my very first exposure to it. My sister claims that she played it at a friend's house and then brought it home, like, hey, dad, buy the game. And that's how. But I just remember it being at my house. And I remember playing it in seventh grade, which would have been about 2000. So that's how I know I've been playing it since then, because I very specifically remember that phase of my life. And I remember playing it on the computer and just being in awe of this amazing game.
and is that kind of like what brought you into it? Was just the fact that you started it up and you're like, this is a new type of game that you'd never seen before, or
Yeah, I think it was, I was definitely one of those gays that played with his sister's dolls in his youth, and
mm,
this was kind of a an okay way to have that experience, because it was basically playing with virtual dolls, and the same way I would play with Barbies and Cabbage Patch Kids and little toy figurines and dollhouses, the same storylines and same, I guess, feeling that I got from doing that was now available to me through a game, which just seemed a little bit more appropriate somehow for a 13-year-old boy to experience that, I guess, at the time. It wasn't a shame-based experience where if I told people that I was playing with The Sims, it wasn't that same kind of reaction where, oh, I'm playing with Barbies after school or whatnot. So it was kind of a safe place for me. And then it just never went away except for that little hiatus with The Sims 3.
we've all taken games hiatuses before. There was like a block of time where even I didn't touch a video game for like 5 years, and apparently I missed out on quite a bit and am now
Yeah.
backfilling my content.
How much happens when I got back into it, and it's like these aren't on discs anymore. You have to download something called Origin. What's that mean? I don't understand. I was so confused.
Yeah.
Like
Moving
my
on.
experience with Sims 4, just because I used to play it on PC, but I don't have a gaming PC anymore. I just have my little dinky laptop. So I got it on my PlayStation, and man, is it different. I'm like, wait, I can't have mods. No.
I
And
know
then,
PlayStation and console players, they can't have
yeah.
mods or CC, which is kind of a big, I guess, point of debate in the Sims community. Not to get too off topic, but a lot of people love CC and love mods, and the game. A lot of people feel like the game is broken or not really playable or not giving us its best self right now. There's a lot of players that are kind of. It's kind of like that Star Wars meme where it's like, can you say you're a Star Wars fan if you don't hate Star Wars? You know what I mean? It's kind
Mm.
of like that with the Sims right now. A lot of Sims players are very critical of EA and Maxis and the Sims team. And one of the points is that some people are like, well, just get mods in CC to make your game playable, and it's great. But then it's like, well, what about the console players? They don't have that. The game should just be playable from the beginning. And so that's kind of a really hot topic right now with the community.
Oh, if we want to expand upon that, I'm all with that. Because definitely I'm a cheat coder. I mean, even in my playthrough right now, I have my testing cheats enabled. It's like, okay, I don't always go in and like, what is it? Like cure happiness or whatever, because I do
Yeah.
play the game as intended. But if I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, no, I need this one thing to do right now, yet you're too sad to do it, then yeah, I'm gonna fix your needs.
Yeah. The
You can
emotions
do
is another
cheats.
contentious point.
Yeah, you can do cheats on the console, but like the mods as far as at
Wicked
least for
Limbs.
yeah, my personal thing that I was mad about was I wanted to get more like user created outfits,
Yeah.
hair, makeup, because the library, if you will, of that for just the console, like the actual official stuff that they've
Mhm.
released is obviously not that large, and you have to
No.
pay for it.
And it ranges
And
in quality. The game came out in 2014, so it's
yeah,
going on 8 years. And the quality of some of the things that were made, it's quite the range. And you can tell some of the hairstyles, for example, that were from the base game. And another point on that, I guess, is we are three white people. We see a lot of ourselves in the game, but a lot of people of color have had a hard time with finding hairs that look like them or good quality hairs that look like them. The team in the
yep.
last year just had to redo a few of them because it was needed. So,
That's exactly what I was just thinking about. Because the reason I was looking for mods is because the sim character that I made this time is a hijabi woman, because I actually saw a hijab in the hat section and I was like, oh my gosh, that's
Hmm.
so cool. I'm gonna make a hijabi woman. Like, that's amazing. And there is one hijab with like very not great colors and then like
mhm.
a very small amount of modest outfits that she could
Yeah.
wear. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just go download some. I'm sure somebody has made some modest clothes for
Oh,
if they
sure.
want to make a Muslim woman character. Nope, can't get them on the console.
On the
So I
console
just have
now.
like that, and the only reason I have the ones that I have that are actually kind of cute is because I got the Incheon Arrivals like
Yes.
extra shit,
Hmm.
and obviously because I lived in Korea, so I saw that I'm like snapping that up right now,
Yeah.
and so
Yes.
yeah, I put her in some of that, but I'm like, and that's kind of a bummer. And I had to use a cheat code to get her to keep her hijab on when she went to work because the
Uh,
uniform took it off. Like it just
Oh.
mhm.
made her, they don't have any of that. So it's like there's obviously they've come a long way because
They're
I didn't
so.
the last time I played this they didn't even have hijab at all, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, so I was like, okay, well, I at least I can make it work, but I wish she had more outfit choices because that's my favorite part about The Sims is
Oh,
customizing
absolutely.
everything.
Yeah. You spend all your time in cast or building the house, and then it's like, all right, before I even play, I'm going to move on to the next thing. And you don't really even play through those things. This is a matter of that creative outlet, which was another piece that I loved. I'm a creative person. I can't really draw. I, I mumbled my way through band and everything like that. I was a dance minor in college, but I'm not particularly flexible now. But like, so I feel like I'm a creative soul, and this game really allows me to express myself in ways that I just can't in my real life.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to find at least a couple ways to expression because earlier you had touched on the fact that knowing that you were gay at a young age and playing with dolls, this was a safe space for you to explore that. Um, I know that in the first Sims game, gay marriage was not a thing. I don't even think
No.
that you could have same-sex relationships. You could only achieve like best friend status.
I think you could like kiss and stuff, but nothing official. You couldn't like get married. I want to say that if you had two male Sims or two female Sims that would kiss over and over and over again, eventually they would prompt you with, "Do you want to adopt a baby?" And so there was that, which was something huge for 2000. I mean,
Hmm.
gosh. But and I guess that was another piece of it. I had representation that way. I could play as a gay Sim and explore that a little bit because you don't see that in TV shows in 2000 unless it's like the Jack and Will characters, which are kind of, really hyped up in caricatures and stereotypes.
Yeah.
Just Jack, exactly. So
Oh,
it
I
was
loved
nice
Will
to
and
be able
Grace.
to play it through and explore that a bit. And then in The Sims 2, they could actually get married, but it wasn't called married. It was called
Hmm.
like unions.
Yep.
So I think it was in Sims 3 when they finally had gay marriage, which that came out in 2009. So that was kind of right around when that was a really big hot topic. And The Simpsons has always been very progressive in that way. They always seem to kind of be one step ahead of like the cultural pulse or something on those matters.
Hmm.
There must be a bunch of gays at EA. I don't know.
I don't know about that. But I could totally see it, and that's where representation within game development, it needs to be there because, if a bunch of straight people are sitting in a room, they're not necessarily thinking about, how can we make this game more inclusive? So that's why.
That's something I noticed too, going back because I don't think I ever played the first Sims, but I played the second, third, and fourth multiple. I've owned multiple copies of The Sims 4 over the years. This PlayStation 5 version being my most recent. I definitely prefer it on console, but something I noticed, and it still kind of seems to be an issue with at least the town that I'm in now for Sims 4 is pretty much all the Sims you interact with are like heteronormative families, especially for
Mhm.
the earlier Sims game. Like even though since Sims 1, they could technically what they called be bi, because
Mhm.
you could and it was kind of player sexual where like everyone could romance anyone, but none of the standard like already created Sims and their families were representative of anybody else besides like man, woman, child. And that
Sure.
still kind of seems to be the most common family unit in The Sims 4 today.
Mhm.
At least is what I saw in my town today. I didn't
Yeah,
see any.
there definitely, there are some that are kind of behind a paywall in that, if you get cats and dogs, there's a gay couple. And if you get island living, there's a family that's on the LGBT community. Um, if you get not making magic, that's the Sims 1. If you get Realm of Magic for the Sims 4, one of the Sims that is featured heavily in the trailer for that game, the community was kind of like noticing that character named Morgan, and it seems that Morgan is a non-binary character. So there's a little bit of representation, and it's there. It almost, as a person who's in the community, it kind of feels like, how do I put this into words? It feels like, oh, look, what am I trying to say? It's like diversity for the sake of diversity, or representation for the sake of representation. It's like we did it, so now we can check that off of our list and move on to the next.
Like
For a while, it kind of
pandering.
seemed that way. Yeah, like there was, we gave them a gay couple in Cats and Dogs, so now we can just focus back on the heteronormative for a little while, and then, oh, here's another character that's different. But when the game that is on the tip of my tongue came out, Eco Lifestyle, I want to say there was maybe two families that potentially fit into that community. So it's getting better and it is there, but it's definitely not the norm,
Mm.
which is fine. I mean, we're not the norm, I guess. It's like we don't need the majority all the time either, but and the representation is great.
I remember seeing on the splash page recently, like I logging in, it was a it was two women who were hugging and holding hands together, and I was like, just to see that on, like, to open up the game and that's what you see, I was like, I really love seeing stuff like that.
Yes, yes.
That was something that surprised me too, because like I said, I haven't played Sims 4 in a few years and probably 5 or so, but I when I was playing it today and I saw you can go on the computer and like apply to adopt a child now, and I do not remember that being a thing. I'm like, that's cool because there's like another avenue in which there's some representation for people
Mhm.
who want to make a family that looks like theirs or what they would want to have, and maybe they don't want to give birth or they are unable to give birth, so they can have that in The Sims, and that was pretty cool too.
That was another
It
thing
really
that
feels like the possibilities are endless, which is great.
that was another thing that was brought up to me too, was that you can now have WooHoo without the possibility of having a baby. Like, even if
Mhm.
you're in a straight couple, you can either try for a baby or just have sex. And for people who can't get pregnant or are electing to not get pregnant, it to have the choice between, yes, I want to have protected sex or unprotected sex. Or maybe I'm role playing it out that I can no longer have children. So the idea of getting pregnant would be triggering towards something. So having
Yeah.
that as an option in the game now too is, I really like that.
I
It's
wish that was in
especially
real
poignant
life.
right now. Yeah, for sure. One other thing you can do that is really great, and I haven't done this much, so I might be a little bit off on how to do it, but I want to say in the settings when you're building your characters and cast, you can actually go a bit deeper and assign that character the ability to or to not have children. So you could have a female sim that you set to be like, this person cannot have kids. So then they can even try to have baby in the game, and it's going to be even harder for that, if not impossible. Or you could have a male character that you give the permission to have kids. And so it's just, again, it really just opens up the world of possibility for you to play out different scenarios and characters and identify with them, see yourself in the game. For a long time, The Sims was all about like seeing yourself in the game and playing out your life. And it seems like that's definitely something they like to play with.
Hmm. They also let you select whether you pee standing up or sitting down.
I
And
forgot about that. Yes.
so it's like, not only could I be a seahorse dad who still pees sitting down, but have a masculine body, it's perfect. Like they
Hmm.
Yeah.
really have opened up the gender identity lines.
Even as far as the type of walk you have too. I
Hmm.
don't remember that the last time I played Sims 4. They Or it has like all these different, they have like a funny ghost one, which I really liked. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, I thought it was cool. It was like you could have a feminine walk, a masculine walk, like a slouchy walk. You know, I just remember Sims walking all the same pretty much last time I played it.
Well, gosh, talk about games changing over the last 20 years. I mean, The Sims 1 could never for any of these things. And even The Sims 4, like back in 2009, when I kind of took my break, when you bought the game and the game was as it was. So imagine my surprise when I come back in 2017 and the game is doing free updates with new content that's just free to you if you already have the game. That blew
Hmm.
my mind. I couldn't believe that gaming did that. And so I want to say, some of the things you're mentioning, V, like the walk styles updating, were things that came a little bit later. And that's another, I guess, point of contention with The Sims 4 is there was a lot that did not release with the base game. We did not have toddlers. We did not have pools. We did not have ghosts. And these are all things that came in free updates later, which is just fantastic that they did that. I mean, my mind is still blown when I think about the olden days and how far gaming has come.
Yeah, it's like this game is still releasing stuff and it's 8 years old,
Mhm.
you know? Like and the content that they are releasing, some of it is so big it feels like a whole new game.
Absolutely.
So,
Hmm.
and they do kind of charge that way as well a little
Yeah,
bit,
I'm
but
like, I'll pay it. Take my money. I'm that guy. It's like,
exactly.
take my
Oh
money.
my,
I have all content for The Sims 4. I've bought all the expansions, all the game packs, all the stuff cats, all the stuff cats. I do not stuff cats. Stuff kits,
thank goodness.
stuff and kits and all that stuff. Right now, the game is actually, the programmers are teasing the next release, which it's like looking like it's going to be werewolves. So that I'm really excited for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah,
It's not
no,
for friends, but
I messaged Jen yesterday and I was like, I just dropped like $140 on Sims 4. And it's probably like the third time I've bought this game, but because of different platforms, it's worth it though. Like I
yeah.
will drop so much time that I do not have to waste on The Sims 4.
Yeah. Right now, my Sims 4 playthrough is all Mass Effect related.
Mhm.
And then I found like all like the community mods where I could just like go
Mhm.
and pick a little house that I want, pick artwork that somebody else has put in the game. Absolutely loved it. So,
Oh yeah.
my shepherd and Garrus are living in Anderson's apartment and it's amazing.
That is so cool.
Yeah, the
They have like a
gallery is
whole
fantastic.
Yeah. They even not even just in the gallery, I was just thinking about when I was decorating my house there, when I was going through the posters and the artwork, there's even like stuff. I'm not sure if it's hard to tell with The Sims if it's like a made up name in the game or if it's a real artist that they pulled the art from. But it
Mhm.
kind of made it sound like it was a real artist. And they were like, this art was from this person's name and it's to celebrate Pride. And it was like a Pride poster. Do you know the one I'm talking
That was a
about?
real person. Yeah, they do that engagement with the community a lot where they will work with content creators and put their creations in the game. So that poster did release as a free content during one of their updates, and a real life player made that. And some furniture pieces are in the game, and I love that. And a lot of the team takes a lot of heat when they release new games because some of their houses that they build are really not very good. And in the last year or so, they've started working with the Sims builders. I mean, on YouTube, the building community is huge. You can watch speed build videos, you can watch house tour videos. That alone is its own community. And so there's some fantastic builders who just create amazing homes, or one thing I like to do is recreate homes from like TV shows. So I just finished building the Bewitched house, and I'm also putting the final touches on the Melrose Place apartment building. So it's just it's the building community is neat, but the team has started working with builders to build the houses that release with the game. And so for the last several game packs and expansion packs, the houses that you can move into were created by players. And it's so great to have that openness, I guess, with the community. Because a lot of game developers, I feel like, could be very much like, this is ours, don't mess with it, but they just embrace it, and I love that.
That's so awesome. I know of one item specifically in the games, and it is a pride flag. Because, like, if you click on the pride flags, it then opens up all the different variations.
Mhm.
And I grew up with Daniel Quasar, who created the Progress Pride flag um, back in like 2010, something like that. I don't remember what year it came out. But that's in the game. And so I believe that their name is in the game attached to the flag. So every single house that I have built since that flag came out has like a pride room specifically for Daniel.
Love that. I love that.
Oh. Sorry. I don't have any wine, any coffee, any water with me here
Oh,
tonight. I
I
forgot
I
to
was
have
say that.
water.
gonna
Ooh.
I have to work the graveyard shift tonight, so I took a nap right before doing this, and I woke up at 7, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm late for work," because my day job I start at 7. But then I realized, oh wait, no, it's 7 p.m. Okay, oh, I have half an hour before I have to get online. Okay, great. And then I have to work my overnight job tonight, so definitely the Pepsi, the Red Bull, coming in clutch. Is that what the kids say?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I am not a kid or cool, so I don't know anything. But I guess I wanted to ask, there was something I found. I was reading this article about what is this title? The Sims and Progressive Sexuality. That was the title of the article. And something they said that I have not seen in Sims 4 yet, but I just picked it up again. So, but they said that they've allowed for kind of like a workaround for polyamory.
Oh yes.
Um, yeah, and I wanted to know, like, they were also talking about how BioWare is announcing polyamorous and asexual relationships. I'm quite curious how an
Oh.
asexual relationship works. Does that just mean you don't want to have sex at all, or
Yeah, I'm
not
not sure
romance?
about that one. It might be a non-romance. I know around Valentine's Day they had an update where um, they kind of played with romance and like being like very amorous or not. I didn't play much with that, so I can't speak to that very much. I know that when Eco Lifestyle, I believe, came out, that was a pack that had a little bit more representation for the LGBT plus community. They also, one thing that The Sims 4 has is they have like traits that your characters can have. And I want to say one of the traits is like, it's not called Polly, but it has like one of those cutesy Sims names, and it means that you can romance multiple Sims and not have that immediate like jealousy
Yeah,
reaction that the Sims are prone to have, which is great for storytelling. Like, oh, I want to have my Sims make out, and then the wife be on the lot in another room and walk in on them and have the chaos. I live for that kind of stuff. But sometimes you want to have a polyamorous couple. I was actually not too long ago playing through a storyline where I was very inspired by the TV show Big Love, and I wanted to have,
Hmm.
one husband and 3 different families and play through that a little bit. And it was tricky because if he was kissing one of his wives, then the other ones would get jealous. I had to be very strategic with that. You can't marry more than one sim in the game. You still can only marry one, but I believe you can have multiple girlfriends and boyfriends. And if you do have that trait that you can, or maybe it's a lot trait, or maybe it's a scenario.
yeah. In this article, it says they call it a relationship status, and it's called
Okay.
lovebirds,
Okay.
which is cute. And but
Yeah,
I
that is
remember
cute.
from when I was making my Sims, I made them last night and then built their house today. But there is a trait that I didn't remember from my first or my last time playing Sims
It's
4, which was
definitely
called,
mixed.
yeah, it's called non-committal though,
Hmm.
Yep. Yep.
which I don't know if I like the way that's
That
called.
turn. Yeah.
Yeah, because that kind of
Yeah, I
makes
can understand that.
it just sounds, I mean, I'm not polyamorous, so I don't know if I have a dog in this fight, but I
Mhm,
do
mhm.
think if that's the trait, because when it was described was saying like you take a lot longer getting married and
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
want to be in relationships, and you also want to leave your job all the time, like it's kind of overarching. Like it
Hmm.
kind of sounds a little shamey calling it non-committal. But then the
Yeah.
lovebird thing, I haven't experienced it yet in my game because I
No.
just started it. But I guess that's it. Just they say the Sims are not in a formal relationship, and if their other romantic activities are witnessed, then there's only a minor jealousy penalty rather than
Okay.
like a complete breakup. And there's
Nice.
also a reward trait for the serial lover aspiration. The sim will
Mhm.
never make another sim jealous. So we have to get that aspiration
And I believe
bonus.
you can cheat to get that. I wish it was something you could assign them because it'd be so much easier.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
If I'm not sure if there's like a coding issue in making this work and then this is like the best solution they have
like
now,
the
or if they're
workaround,
just
like I
not.
said.
Yeah, because it kind of feels like a workaround, but so I would
Yeah.
hope it's that and not just them being like, let's just
I'm
not.
sure that's what it is.
Yeah.
I think there's something to be said about, and this was a problem with The Sims 3 where they almost gave us too much and it broke a lot of computers. That's why I couldn't play it. It kept crashing on my PC, and I was like, well, I guess I'm too old for The Sims now. And so I think that The Sims 4 suffers from that a little bit because there could be some game lag and there's some other things that a lot of the Sims players want open world again, like The Sims 3 had, and it's like that would just not work in The Sims 4. Um, so I think they're trying to give us what they can without overdoing it. Sometimes they're more successful than other times, for sure.
I
Yeah.
liked
I
the wo-
mean,
mm.
sorry, Jen. You can go.
No, I was like, I liked the open world aspect of 3, and they kind of did that with 4 with like your little neighborhood being open,
Neighborhood.
like you've got like a little block area of where you can run and jog around to. So I think that that was a good enough compromise.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah, and the sheer amount of neighborhoods now. I mean, obviously,
Mhm.
most of them you have to purchase. The only
Yeah.
complaint I have so far is I did buy that cottagecore one because I was like
Uh-huh.
definitely getting that one. But there's only like one business in there, standard, like it's the pub.
Mhm.
Hilarious. But they have a bunch of other buildings that are there, but they're just filler. You can't actually interact with them or do anything with
Yeah, it's
them.
like set dressing.
Yeah, and I was kind of bummed about that. I was like, I wish I could, because my cat got sick and I had to take him to the vet and I had to
Look at that.
travel around all these different towns
Yeah.
trying to find where the vet was.
Brindleton Bay is the one you
Yep,
want.
I know. I saw the little paw print above
Yeah.
after I'd already been through like three other towns, and I'm like, oh,
Uh-huh.
duh. Okay, that's
Yeah.
the cats and dogs one. That should have the vet.
Yeah.
Um, but I was like, oh, I want to open a vet in this little town so I don't have to
Mhm.
travel with my cat. But there's like nowhere to do it. So I'm like, oh, I wish there was a little bit more
I know.
space.
I
But
want bigger lots. Windenburg, I think, is the biggest at around 22 lots, which came out with Get Together. And that's a fun world to live in. I love Brindleton Bay. It's not that big, but I just love the New England coastal town type of vibe. They just opened, nope, they just released a game around February this year called My Wedding Stories, which, speaking of
Mhm.
representation, that was a lesbian couple at their wedding, which I think was the couple that Jen mentioned seeing on the opening hit page. So that was great. Their world, they also have like a downtown with like set dressing, like you see in the cottage living pack. But there are some places that you can interact where it's like purchase wedding cake. So you can't go into the building, but at least it has like a window that you can interact with a bit, which is nice because I don't have a problem with rabbit holes. I just want something. And I feel like My Wedding Stories got a little bit closer to the ideal with that offering.
yeah, I think I can buy groceries at one of them.
Hmm.
I remember I was clicking around. I was just trying to, I have to reorient myself completely because console controls are so clunky compared to keyboard computer controls, but I'll get used to it. I'm going to
Hmm.
spend so much time on it. It'll be quick. Let,
Absolutely.
let's take a look here at the thing. Oh, Jen put on our notes some questions. And the first one, I think is kind of fun, which you've kind of already answered, but I guess you can elaborate on it. Are you a prefab guy or do you build each house?
Ooh. It depends on my mood. I used to build a lot in The Sims 2. I loved building in The Sims 2. That was probably my favorite part. And again, I like to be inspired by like shows that I'm watching. And now I can't watch a movie or a TV show without trying to think how the house is built. And it's always a set on a Universal's lot. So it can be kind of creative. I built all the Desperate Housewives houses. Anyway, So The Sims 4 comes out and I have no idea what I'm doing. I cannot figure it out. The very first house that I built by myself was actually my grandparents' house, which was a box. How can you screw up a box, right? That is one of my first videos on my YouTube channel. It's not pretty. Uh, your beginning content never is though.
No.
It's a little bit cringe, but so I was like, okay, I'm just not going to be a builder, and that's why I love the gallery, because the gallery is not a CC or a mod. It's like in the game, you can just log in and download other people's creations into your game. You don't have to leave the game to do it. You don't have to, it's not back in the old days where you have to go to a website and download content and then upload it into your game somehow with magic. It's all just in the game. You can search for what you're looking for. You can search. My brother has me watching Breaking Bad right now, so I've been doing a lot of searches for Walter White's house. There's tons of builds in there. People have built Hogwarts. Honestly, if you search it, I bet it's been done because it's been 8 years. And so I love the gallery. For a long time there, I was just a gallery downloader. I would find houses and I would play in them and stuff. But in the last couple of years, I've really come to enjoy building my own. So now I try to build my own houses and live in them. I have they have that max of 150 Sims that you can play. That is the best number before the game starts getting really problematic. And I am definitely at that amount. So I have tons of families, and there's some that I just want to download the mansion and live in because I could never build something that extravagant. But then there are others that are kind of my vanilla style, where I'm playing just like a starter couple, and I want to have them save their own money without cheats, and I want them to raise their family and to see how far and how successful I can make them. And it's fun to kind of build my own little house and then just play out their lives in that. So I do a little bit of both, but I think if I had to choose a side, I would say I'm a builder, because it is kind of fun to try to watch Desperate Housewives and be like, okay, how can I build this in the game with what we're allowed to do? And when The Sims released the staircases that weren't just one flight of stairs, but you could actually do the rotations and have different landings, suddenly I can build the Bewitched house, and it's great. So I like building and finding those creative solutions.
That is
I promise I won't
amazing.
answer all the questions with a 45-minute answer. I'm sorry, I'm a talker.
That's what we're here for, is talking.
Okay, all right.
It's a podcast.
You're right. I have my YouTube running where I'm like, okay, Tim, edit it out, edit it out. I'll fix it in editing. It's my favorite mantra.
I mean, we can always do that too, but we also we tangent all the time. We are long-winded. It's all good. That's my favorite part about The Sims, is building the things. I always do this where I build this amazing family and I get all emotionally attached and build their perfect house, and then I release them into it and I'm like, all right, next.
Yep,
Time
exactly.
for the next family.
Mhm.
That's my favorite part.
For sure. I completely agree.
I'm the type of player who wants to know what my grandbabies are going to look like.
You want to play the generations.
Yep.
I love the family tree feature. I guess that wasn't in the base game either. It had come by the time I started playing, because in The Sims 2, I loved the family trees. That was new in The Sims 2. And I just loved following the family trees, looking at their names, finding the connections, like, oh, these two households are related because they're cousins. What? I love that. I'm a genealogy type of guy. And so The Sims 4, I love that too. I love having two prominent families that I'm playing and I have their family tree. So I'm on generation 5 right now, because I'm a slow player too. I don't like to play and age them up in one sitting and then move on to the next generation. I've been playing since 2017 and I'm on generation 5 of all my characters, which it's a slow burn and I'm loving that. And it's fun to play two prominent families and then connect them. And suddenly it's I go to this character who's born and I can look at their ancestors and see these two family trees. I love that. And I'm such a nerd. And if I'd been playing when the game came out in 2014 and they did not have a family tree, that might have been a game changer for me. I might have been deal breaker, I'm out, because it's such a little insignificant feeling part of the game. But that's what I love, is the family trees. And I feel like I can remember my characters that have passed because I see them there, and if that wasn't a part of the game when I started playing, I don't know if I'd still be playing. And that's such a small hill to die on, but I love that part.
I wonder if I can find my old laptop that still has my Sims 1 and Sims 2 saves on it, and see if I can pull up any of that old stuff and just be like, oh my God, what does that character still look like?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Sims 3, and I was playing it on my mom's computer or laptop. I can't remember. That was, I don't know, 15 or 16 when I was playing this one. And maybe you know because you know everything about The Sims, but there was this pack where it was like a rock star style like room and like very punk kind of like 80s Brit punk clothes and like the bed had like an amp as the headboard and it was yeah, I can't remember what that was called because it's ages ago,
No
but
idea. I should know this. I didn't really play The Sims 3, but I know a lot about their packs and expansions because whenever The Sims 4 has one, people in the community like to talk about, oh, well, Sims 3 did it this way.
I think it was Sims 3. It wasn't Sims 2, and I
I
mean
don't
I
think it
think
was,
it
that was
was
probably 2, so it was probably 3. I'm sure that
it
they
had to be
had some
3
sort of
because
a
I was a
celebrity music rock star type of pack. I just don't know
yeah,
much about
yeah,
that.
it was great. And I like made well, I had this family and there was like a teenage daughter in it, and I just made her completely punk with that
Mhm.
pack. And I was so excited about it because I was that girl who flirted with Hot Topic in high school, you
Uh-huh.
know? So I was
Mhm.
like, she is who I would want. Like if I could design
Yeah.
my own room and wear my own clothes, like completely pick out, it would be this. So I
Hmm.
just remember her. I don't remember any of their names or anything. I just remember that
Sure.
and
Okay.
her room, and it was like my favorite part of that whole game. So I wonder if she still exists somewhere. My mom's like old. My mom doesn't get rid of laptops, so I'm sure she still has it
I've got like
somewhere.
6 in my closet. I don't know how to get rid of them because I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
nobody tells
I'm
you
sure there's a
how.
way. No one tells you how, but you also don't keep them for very long before they're
Mm-mm.
the old, outdated version. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think one reason that I kind of took my Sims break 2 is that I was playing for a while there. I was still playing Sims 2 whilst trying the Sims 3 because they were 2 different games. So you can play 2 different games. You don't have to stop one just because you start the other one.
Hmm.
And so I was kind of playing them simultaneously. And then Sims 3 kept crashing, so I was like, well, whatever, I'll just play The Sims 2. Because again, I've been playing for generations. I had made myself in The Sims, and I was in high school. I made my whole family. And then I married Angela Pleasant, one of the characters from The Sims 2 base game families. And we got married, and we had twin daughters of our own. And I picked their names very strategically because I had one daughter named Mary Ellen because Angela's mom was Mary Sue, and I liked the idea of carrying that down to the next generation. So we had a daughter named Mary Ellen, and then our other daughter, my mom's name is Rebecca Kay, so I named my other daughter Kay. So I had Mary Ellen and Kay as the twins, and I played that family, and the twins grew up into teenagers, and then my character or realized that he was gay, and I came out and I left my family, and I played through that whole storyline, and that was very it was kind of like a fun way to be like, well, what would that lifestyle look like if I had lived that path instead of coming out in college? And it was neat to do. So I played the game for a long time, and then The Sims 2 crashed on my computer, and I lost everything. And I've been playing that since 2004. So it was like 2009, 2010. I had just moved to the Portland, Oregon area, and so all I had was my Sims. I didn't have any friends, and my game crashed, and I lost everybody. And I think that's another reason that I kind of took the break, is I was just like, I can't right now. I can't go back. I can't rebuild. It's just easier to walk away. And so finally coming back to The Sims 4, and now I'm on Generation 5, like I said, I think in the back of my mind, I'm very nervous that something like that will happen again. I do regular update or not updates, backups, because that's the thing you can do. You can back
Hmm.
up your computer apparently. So I try to do that, but yeah, I don't know what tangent I just went on, but it's a fun game to play.
Oh, is cloud saving a thing for Sims? I don't remember.
I don't think cloud saving is, but maybe it is. I just don't know. I'm not very technological so much.
I have to figure that out so that way your Sims can be safe on a server that's not your computer. So that
Yeah,
way, in case
I
anything
just have a
ever
couple
goes
of
wrong.
hard drives, and I do want to get a new computer so that I can, because this one's a little slow. I've had this one since 2017. So it's a little old for a computer, I guess, and it's a laptop, so they can only do so much with The
Mm.
Sims. And I always feel kind of weird when I'm like, I want the biggest, best gaming computer I can get because I'm playing The Sims, and everyone's reaction is always like, The Sims, really? You'll be fine. Just spend $50 at a flea market, you'll be fine. I'm like, no, you don't understand. There's like 30 expansion packs, and I want all of them. So I need this to function. My brother and my sister-in-law, who I live with, are really big gamers. My brother's playing Elden Ring, which I guess is a thing that came out recently,
Hmm.
and my sister-in-law plays a bunch of different games and stuff. So they are big gamers. So I kind of defer to them on all things like what I need, but I know that they don't really take me that seriously because it's just The Sims, you know.
Well, they haven't been invited on a podcast specifically
Thank you.
talking about video
Thank you.
games, and you
That's
have.
right. That's right. Mhm.
I think this might be a good little mid-break moment so we can talk about some stuff going on with the pod. We good with mid-break? I'm looking for.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. I wasn't unmuting fast enough, and I'm trying to find the name of that pack from The Sims 3, and I
I'd
am
love
not
to
having
know.
any luck.
Mhm.
Okay. So I found one fun little fact that I wanted to share, and that is that the name Maxis, which is the developer for The Sims, was created at 6 a.m. after the team had been up all night working. Someone said, "Never again are we staying up until SIX AM." And that is where Maxis came from, because 6
I love
a.m.
that.
is Maxis backwards.
That's so funny. And how many of us have stayed up till 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 playing video games? Like, I just love that. I think that's great.
hmm Yeah, I've definitely pulled all-nighters playing video games. And then we have to thank our patrons because we have lovely, 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 amazing, awesome, fantastical. I could probably think of more outrageous names. Let's see, what's a good sim name? A good sim. Woohoo! Woohoos to our lovely patrons.
I love that. That's a great idea.
So thank you so much to Toasty, Apollo, Meiji Moose, Captain Shanko, Cloudy Atlas, and our newest patron, Stoned Miss Thous. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that second half of your name, but thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, that actually comes up to a fun fact I just remembered that I found of what WooHoo is in the Korean version of Sims is sarang nanugi, meaning to spread love. So that's
I love
basically
that.
what patrons do. Yeah,
They
Oh,
do. They
there
absolutely
was an
do.
article. There was an article I found about of what they call it in a bunch of different languages, and the last one was Korean, which I speak Korean. For those of you who don't know, that was my job in the Navy, and I read that and I was like, that's a cute way to say it. Just spread love.
That's
I
cool.
like it.
spread the
Spread love to
love.
you patrons and back at us too, I guess.
Yes.
Thank you.
Let's see. Last week, Captain Shanko was having some major internet issues, and I really wanted to make sure that I got this out here this week for them. So I asked her and Psych for their plug for their new Marvel Lorecast. So I'm gonna read that out really quick. The MCU Lorecast, so Marvel Cinematic Universe, is a podcast that examines the Marvel Cinematic Universe and its comic book origins. With our unique hosts, Captain Shenko and Psych88, we provide an in-depth look at the storylines, the fights, and the comics that inspired them, and the events around their inception to see how reality shapes our entertainment. Be on the lookout for our first episode dropping soon on all major podcasting platforms. And they are partners in the Robots Radio Rocket Club. So we definitely want to support them and show our love. Psych was a former guest on our Tally episode, and Shanko has been on 2 of our patron chats now. And she just reached out to talk about her favorite romance from Cyberpunk, and she should be joining us to talk about River. I think it was River. It was either River or Carrie. Now I don't remember. Oh, one last thing before we get back into woohoo discussions. Friend of the pod, in chat here tonight, Yuri Cat released her second single today. So make sure you are following Terminal Dusk on all of your favorite listening platforms. I'll make sure that we post a link to the Spotify in our Discords, and maybe Yuri, throw up a link in chat if you want tonight, babe. It's all good. Hello, N7. and Apollo and everybody else in chat tonight. It has been scrolling by really, really fast. Y'all are chatty tonight. I can't keep up.
Well, I want
I
to say
wish
hi
my
to the
phone.
chat. Hello.
I wish my phone hadn't died because that's how I normally keep an eye on the chat. But it's on the charger now, so I have no idea what anyone's saying.
Uh,
But thanks for being here.
they've been talking about Dragon Age and origin endings and a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, I can't keep up. Okay. Oh, and Tim, just so you know, Yuri is a person that we used to work with. So
Interesting.
yeah, I'll message you later.
Okay. All right. Please do. And hi, Yuri. Good to see you again.
All right, so let's get back into it. And I think we left off the discussion talking about different kinds of woohooing. Um, I love the fact that the names are different in different countries. I also loved it when you could have different kinds of woohoo. I remember the first time I did it in a hot tub.
Yes. And the cutscenes,
Yes.
the music. The music.
Oh.
I love the little what are they, rose petals?
Yes. It's great. It used to be, just touch on that briefly. Sims 1, you could just kiss them. And then you kiss enough and it would ask you, should we have a baby? Which that's the kind of consent that I live for. And then The Sims 2, suddenly woohoo's a thing. And I remember the very first time I stumbled upon that. The Sims 2 was so huge compared to The Sims 1 because the graphics were very different, but just the gameplay mechanics, you could do so much more. And they wanted to show it off. So a lot of their families had preset storylines that they wanted you to play out so you could see they were kind of flexing their muscles a little bit. And so for the Pleasant family, there was Daniel and Mary Sue. They had twin daughters, Lilith and Angela. Angela's the one that went on to marry. And when you open up their household, the girls go to school, mom goes to work, dad doesn't work till later, or it's his day off or something. And the maid comes over and cleans the house, which the maid's no new thing. They had a maid in The Sims 1. They came over every day at like 9 or 10 and would mop your puddles and empty your trash and whatnot and then leave. It's a non-playable character. But in The Sims 2, Kaylin comes over, she throws away some breakfast dishes, and then the game prompts you with, I'm all done with work. Should we hang out for a little bit? And it's like, oh, okay, well, sure. What's this do? And so you hit yes, and then Kaylin stays, and she and Daniel get kind of flirty. And then the game is kind of telling you through Daniel's wants that Daniel wants to flirt with Kaylin. Daniel wants to kiss Kaylin. Daniel wants to woohoo with Kaylin. You're like, woohoo, what's that? That wasn't that thing in The Sims 1. And so you click on the bed and woohoo, and they go at it. And then Mary Sue comes home from work and finds them, and catastrophe. And I just love that a lot of their families, the Broke family, the Goth family, the Lothario family, they all had these little preset storylines that they kind of led you to hit those points and see the different things you could do. And that was my first exposure to woohoo, was adultery.
In The
That's
Sims,
delightful.
not in real life.
Yeah.
My real life story I'll tell you about later.
We'll save that for the after
That
dark.
one's not safe for the podcast.
Okay. Hopefully it doesn't involve adultery. But gosh, I had no idea. Oh, you found it?
Yeah, sorry. I know I was muted. I finally freaking found it. Oh my God. That took forever. It's called the Loud Fast Clash set for Sims 3.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
They did have a
dude, that
Sims
was
3
my
store that would have different things. I wonder if that was available in the Sims 3 store.
I think so. Let
That
me
sounds
go to the
cool.
wiki. Dude, I loved it. I was like, this is it's not any longer my ideal aesthetic, but back
That's
then when
cool.
I was punky
Oh,
teenager me,
absolutely. Absolutely. I love that.
I will I will send you a link. I'll send Jen a link and then she can send you a link or
That's great.
somehow.
Yeah,
I'll find it.
that'd be awesome.
Sorry, I know that was a I was like fact check myself in the same show. Hurry, find it. Man, it was really, I thought it was an actual like official stuff pack. So I'm
Mhm.
looking at all these stuff pack lists
That
for
doesn't ring a
Sims
bell.
3.
Doesn't look right.
Yeah, no, it didn't look, I was like, is it 70s, 80s, 90s stuff? No. Because I was like, maybe
Right.
it's the grunge
It could be
stuff.
very
No.
90s. Yeah, but no.
Yeah, it was not the grunge stuff. Yeah, so I just finally started Googling Sims 3 punk furniture and then I looked through images to finally find it.
Until you found it. Oh, I love that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Sorry. Okay, that was me. I'm fully present again. That was really bothering me though. I was like, I need to remember what this was.
It's fine. All you missed was adultery. Nothing to see here.
Speaking of, so this was another little fact that I found, that in 2017, The Sims won the Guinness World Record for most expansion packs for a video game series. Like, yeah, I cannot think of another, other than like DLC content, which is like additional downloadable content for a video game. I can't think of another game that came out with expansion packs. Like, of course, The Sims is winning that.
Of course. Ugh, I love it. And I'll buy everything. I don't care. They just, a year or two ago, time is a construct in the post-pandemic world. Uh, at some point recently, they released the Star Wars game pack, which did not land with our community very well. It's kind of universally regarded as one of the worst ones, which is a shame because I bet that and I downloaded it because I'm a completionist and have to have everything. I haven't played really much with it. I think the one thing I've done is I've used a floor tile that was kind of cool because it was like a neat stone pattern. I'm like, oh, that'll be good for a patio. And then I was trying to do like a kind of a punky, grungy 90s teen boy's bedroom. And I used like a lamp that looks like a very weird metal lamp that's just very Star Warsy in his room. That's all I've really used that pack for.
Aww.
Yeah, when I was making my character last night and I was going through the hats, I was like, okay, so I can be a hot dog, I can be a wizard, and then I saw like, I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, like the Twi'leks, like Ahsoka
Mhm.
Tano in Star Wars, it was like a blue one. I don't think you can change the color of it on the
No,
console.
it's just blue. Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of a bummer, but I was like, oh, that's cool. I don't have the Star Wars pack, so I don't know why it's on my game.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was like, wow,
Mhm.
that's new. I guess there's got some
They
Star Wars
had, I think,
licensing.
some different costumes and things that released with the base game or were included in an update. So I think that might be what you were seeing. And so it is available in cast as an option. But yeah, then the Star Wars kind of expanded on it more.
Yeah, and I have the Princess Leia buns and dress
Hmm.
too. I was like, this is amazing. I love
Yeah,
Star Wars, so I might play around with that when I'm done cottage coring. It is
yeah.
just so cute. Like all the cute little big sweaters with like foxes embroidered on them
Oh
and the
yeah,
chicken coop in my yard.
I
I was
love
like,
that
this is
game.
amazing.
That
It's
game,
so
one of
cute.
the best. It's so good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I once upon a time on my YouTube channel did do a ranking video. This was a few years ago, so there's probably several packs that have released since then. But I ranked them all. Like, that tier ranker was really big for a while there. Everyone was doing all their ranking videos. So I do want to revisit that and kind of re-rank everything again. Um, Another one, this is not Sims content, but another video I'm working on is I just recently watched all 25 Pixar movies and scored them. And I'm doing gonna do a ranking video where I rank the best to the worst Pixar movies. So I like ranking. I don't know. I just love finding an order for things and assigning them a number and moving on.
Did you already rank them?
I have pretty much ranked them, yes.
So you said there's 24 Pixar movies. What
25.
is 25? What's number 17?
Let me pull out my
That's my
little
lucky
booklet.
number.
Is it
I just
really?
want to know. Yeah.
Mine is 37, so we're not quite there yet. Let me find out for you. I'm opening my Excel spreadsheet. Excel's my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. So we are going to go
One
to.
of the things Tim and I bonded over back in the day.
It's true.
Mutual love of Excel spreadsheets.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I use them because they exist, but I definitely am more of a global person. Spreadsheets make me sad sometimes. There's just a lot going on.
Where'd my list go? It's in a binder. I guess I thought it was digital on my phone, but I guess that the list I have on my phone is their release order because I wanted to know what year they all released in. Um, so I wonder if it's in this thing. Let's see. I kind of took a little bit break from it because I watching 25 movies in a row was a lot, but let's see. 1, 2, 3.
Were you a good TO and brought the niece with you to watch them all?
No. Because I was just binging them on Disney Plus when I was working, and so I did not. Let's see here. So I don't know exactly what the final list is because I don't have that one handy. I have watched them all and ranked them all. I think what I was doing was kind of taking a break so that when I actually do the video, I'm a little bit surprised at what comes next because I'm weird. But the way I did it is I ranked them all in what I assume my order will be from first to last. And then I watched that. And then in order to watch them, I started at the bottom and worked my way up so that I'd have the fun movies to look forward to so that I could suffer through the ones that I don't like. So I will tell you that the 17 on my initial list was Soul. That one I know is now third from the end, so it's 23.
Yeah.
And so something else is in 17 now. I don't know what it is, but it was Soul when I was just assuming what the list would be. But Soul really disappointed me. So
Yeah, I watched it once and that
one
was
and done.
enough. Yeah. I was
Well, the
like,
way
so
I
it's
did it,
17, that's high up on your list.
yeah, the way I did it was because honestly, Pixar is not to get completely off topic from video games, and we'll move back to The Sims. But Pixar is like a studio where honestly they don't really have a bad movie, except for maybe Cars 2. But otherwise, everything is a good. It's an enjoyable ride, and what I thought was, okay, what makes the best Pixar movie the best? And it's their characters, it's the Pixar magic, that little touch of Pixar twist or thinking outside the box. It's the feels. I mean, think of Up in the opening with Ellie and Carl. So the feels, character, and I just ranked all of those things on a scale of 1 to 5, and then that's how I came up with this order. So Soul, while an okay movie, just was missing some of that magic stuff for me, and that's why it's so low on the list. And but when I rank The Sims, I want to do a similar process where I find, measurable or subjectively measurable categories to rank the games on, because The Sims is up to like between all the kits and stuff packs and expansion packs and game packs, it's in the 30s, if not more right now. And so I want to have some sort of measurable ranking system to place them.
That would be really difficult to break down categories that you could rank in every game pack because and especially when price comes into it, because sure, I can buy a $4.99 item pack, but how is that going to compare to a $50 upgrade that gets me a whole new neighborhood, new characters, new gameplay styles? You might have to do it.
What I really look for in the games, and the ones that are my favorites, are the versatile ones, where it's like, yeah, maybe this is a $4.99 kit where it only has a clothing style, but is that a clothing style that I can use over and over again and not get tired of? Is it niche enough that my characters feel like they have a personality, but not so wild that I only will wear it on Halloween, that kind of thing. And that's kind of how those are the packs I like the most, the ones that have repetitive gameplay. Like I love University, I love Parenthood, because my Sims are going to go to college, my Sims are going to be parents. I love the cast packs because I like to have variety of clothing options. The ones that are a little bit less high on my list are like vampires. It's a fantastic pack. It's very well made. It is the best occult in the game for sure. My game style is very realistic. I want to play out my Desperate Housewives storylines. So there's not really a lot of room in that for vampires, but the game pack has some really cool build items. So I can build old dusty mansions, and I'm still getting a lot of my money's worth out of those packs. The Star Wars one, that's why that one's so low, I think, is you can only do so much with that and not be immersion breaking with the rest of your game. My Sims that are going to college and playing out their their different love triangle storylines aren't going to go on a journey to Batu. So while I use some of the build stuff, I don't really get a lot of replayability from those. And so I think as I'm ranking them, I'll look at the replayability piece really hugely.
I love how much thought you've put into this. You've got like a mental roadmap and
been a long
everything
time.
good to go.
I may have taken that break, but I mean, really 20 years of The Sims. Because even when I wasn't playing The Sims 3, it was on my mind. I remembered my storylines. I remembered my Sims. When I came back to The Sims 4, I actually started with Mary Ellen, my daughter that I mentioned earlier in the episode, who I had played as a teenager in The Sims 2. I decided, okay, well, let's say Mary Ellen grew up, got married, had some kids. What would that family look like? And so I had Mary Ellen married, gave her 4 kids. Their family name is Olsen. So now the Olsen family, who I'm on the 4th or 5th generation on, are like my descendants, and it's been a lot of fun playing them. So yeah, I've put a lot of thought into the game for sure. I geek out about it, so I could talk about it for hours and hours and hours, and you'll have to curb me back to the topic at hand.
Or we'll just have another Sims. Like, is there any rumors about a Sims 5 or anything like that?
Yeah, so there's nothing official. A lot of the community is ready for The Sims 5 because, again, there are some things that The Sims 4 just at its core cannot and will not be able to do. Open world, again, there's some players that really want open world back, and The Sims 4 will just never do that. So they're ready for Sims 5 because they think, you know what? Throw it out. Let's start new with something fresh and do it right. So let's get an open world game again. And you know, The Sims 4 is really emotion driven. You were saying, V, about how sometimes it'd be nice if you could make them not be sad so they'll actually be willing to play chess or whatever. You know, that can be problematic because their emotions do run a little bit wild. And I've had it where a Sim's mom will die, so they'll be sad, but then something will happen and they'll suddenly be happy again. And it's like, no, you watching your favorite channel on TV shouldn't negate the fact that you're devastated that your mom died. Like that should have, the emotions are a little bit touch and go. And so I think people are ready for The Sims 5 because they're ready for something new. And also, The Sims 1 was about 5 years. The Sims 2 was about 5 years. The Sims 3 was about 5 years. It seems like every 5 years, we get the next generation of The Sims. And we're on year 8. I don't remember exactly what month The Sims 4 came out. I don't know if that's handy, but it was 2014. So we're going on year 8 here. It's already April, so it could already have passed. I don't remember. Is it the fall, maybe? Maybe it's the fall. But September? Yeah, that sounds right.
I just Googled The Sims 5, and apparently EA hinted that the next Sims game was in development in 2020, which we probably all didn't hear because it was 2020.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, like
they post different job descriptions sometimes, and a lot of the communities like, oh, is this a job for the Sims 5 team? People are ready for it, for sure. I'm kind of the opinion, like, there's still things the Sims 4 can do, and I want them to. Like, werewolves was on my list. Like, I know I mentioned that I don't really play with the occult, but for some reason, werewolves excites me, so I want a werewolves pack. I want cars in the game. We don't have cars yet in 2020. What year is this? 2022. We don't have cars.
I wondered about that. I was like, maybe it's just the console, something's glitching because like when my Sim went to work, she just kind of faded into nothingness.
Even The Sims 1 had a car come and get you, and the school bus come and get the kids. But
so did Sims 3, I thought. And you could own cars. They had a whole expansion pack of just cars.
3. This is the least amount of cars we've ever had because nothing shows up at your house for you to get into. There are cars in the world that drive by, and again, like set dressing, they're kind of in the background in some of the neighborhoods, which when they first started doing that, everyone lost it. We thought, oh my gosh, this is a hint. We're getting cars. And it's now been like 4 years. So I guess that wasn't a thing. So I'm ready. I'm not ready for Sims 4 to end because I still want some of those things. And I've invested so much money. I don't even want to do the math to figure out what owning every piece of content at full price means because I buy it when it comes out. I don't wait for the sales except for Journey to Batu. I waited for that one to go on sale. I bought the Star Wars pack at a discount, but everything else I bought at full price. And again, I'm a completionist. I have to have it all. So I don't want to do the math to figure out what that is, but I've invested so much into the game that I'm not ready to just move on to another one yet. I want to play this for years to come. And just a few weeks ago, I want to say someone higher up at EA or Maxis in an interview mentioned they still have a few years of content left to come. So whether that means Sims 5 will come out and they'll still be releasing new Sims 4 content or supporting Sims 4 or not, I don't know. Maybe that'll be a thing. But I feel like Sims 5 is still a little bit ways away. I want them to hit 10 years and then I can start thinking about it.
I feel like they did that with 3 and 4, that they were still supporting 3 and releasing content when 4 came out because they were such vastly different games.
Oh, that's a good point. Yes, they are very different.
Well, I'm ready for Sims 5. I'm ready to play Sims 4 still. I got paid today, so I'm definitely going to buy more towns.
Treat yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, the games, they're great. I don't know which ones you already have.
Just the base game and the pets and cottage life.
Cottage living.
And I was gonna get and Tiny Living. I have Tiny Living.
Love Tiny Living.
Cute. Yeah, I love the furniture, and I really want the City Life. I think it's called City Life.
Oh, City Living is great. Get City Living.
Yeah, I want that because I'm like, okay, I have my cottage family, but now I need my
the city
corporate
slave. It's great. You will love
or something.
There's a lot of multiculturalism included in City Living too, because it's a very culturally diverse city. Again, I don't love them just behind a paywall, but there is some cool stuff in City Living. So I would definitely recommend that one.
Definitely.
People love Seasons, and I'm a bit of a contrarian in that I don't think it's that great. Like, it's okay. Seasons is fun. I love that I can have snow in my game.
That was something I noticed too, just even in the game, because I don't have seasons, but like the 2 extra, or they have a few extra outfits. Like when I last played The Sims, it was everyday, formal, sleep, exercise, and swim. And then now we have party, hot weather, and cold weather. And I'm like, is there going to be hot weather and cold weather without seasons? Or does it just random?
And no. No is the short answer. But in one of the worlds that you have, Oasis Springs is a base game world. That's like a deserty kind of Arizona type of world. So I guess you could wear hot weather there, even though the temperature doesn't really affect the Sims. I have seasons, so I don't know what it means when you don't have seasons, if temperature is a thing, but you can at least dress the part. Okay. Also in Snowy Escape, which is one of their newer expansion packs that came out a year or 2 ago, that's kind of like a mountain Japanese type world, and there's a lot of snow. And so the cold weather stuff comes in handy there. So
okay, after we're done here, I'm gonna turn my game back on.
Go shopping. Snowy Escape's fun. I like that one. The reason I don't love seasons is sometimes one thing I've found with The Sims 4 is that they can't just give us a taste of something. They have to like overdo it. So yeah, we have rainstorms, but that means that for 3 sim days it will be storming outside, and then my Sims are going to be scared because that's an emotion, and it's an emotion-based game. So they're going to be too scared to do anything, and it's because of this rainstorm. Which, if it could just be a rainstorm that I enjoy, that'd be one thing. Another thing that I've noticed is that, we have seasons, which brought a calendar, and you could do different holidays, which was really cool. You can have Winterfest. You can have Harvest Fest. You can make your own Halloween. You can do an Easter type of thing. It's a lot of fun. Well, since that game came out, now calendars are a part of the base game to some degree. Again, I have seasons, so I don't know what it's like without it, but I know that calendars are an option now, so you can kind of plan out your day and whatnot. I think you can probably also create events in there, although I'm not sure.
Yep.
But then they have the Spooky Stuff pack, the Spooky Stuff pack came out, and I like that one, but a lot of the items that released in that pack are actually also in the Sims 4 Seasons as a recolor. So I did it on one of my YouTube videos where I put them all side by side. I'm like, this is the Seasons version, this is the Stuff Pack version. And I don't like that double dipping feel. They also did it. There's a free holiday pack that came out around Christmas years and years ago, and there's some items that are in that free holiday pack that are also in Seasons. So I feel like Seasons, I could take it or leave it. It kind of breaks my game. A lot of the stuff I can get in other packs, which I already have. So it's a good pack, and I like it, but it's definitely not my top favorite one that so many people seem to put it in their top 5 when they do their ranking videos.
The only thing that I absolutely loved about Seasons was the fact that I was able to romance Santa. and
Yeah.
he became my husband, and
You
we
can have
had
Father
winter
Winter's
babies
baby.
together.
Well, and I don't remember what it is, but there's some sort of trait where if you have Father Winter's baby, when they grow up, they have some sort of a trait or a quality that is a
Yep.
neat special thing. And I like stuff like that. I like it when the game has a bit of challenge where you don't just have a smorgasbord that you can pick and choose everything. Like you have to work for some stuff, and I like that.
Yes, Apollo, I had Santa babies. Santa baby.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Well, I guess I won't buy seasons until there's nothing else to buy. And
Yeah, I
then
mean it's fine.
I'll
It's
probably
not a
cave.
bad path. You won't regret it, but I feel like there's so much more out there that it's lower on my rank. It's probably around the 17 mark. So maybe that's your lucky number if you forget
There
it.
you go. Yeah.
And again,
Yay.
I'm a contrarian there. Like I am not the majority. A lot of people who play The Sims and listen to this are probably disagreeing with me that Seasons is not one of my favorite ones. And it is cool, but we don't even get a new world in that one. And I understand why, because when Seasons came out, they had to basically, with all the worlds that already existed, give us 4 different seasons of that same world. That's a lot of work from a programming standpoint, I imagine. And they gave us a lot. There's a lot of content. There's a lot of cool build and buy and clothing. So there's great stuff in that pack. But for me, if there was a world, it'd be more worth getting. And if some of the other stuff wasn't there, then like the duplicate items, then maybe I would be higher on my list. But I love the university pack, which is something that people don't really love very much, but I love sending my Sims to college. That one's a hard one too. A lot of people complain about how the game is so easy and it's kind of like a happy life simulator because nothing bad ever happens. But in the university pack, if you don't really try and work hard, your Sims will not pass. And I love that challenge about it. And it's hard and it's doable. Some people are like, it's broken, you can't pass your classes. There's just certain things you have to do. I mean, all my Sims get straight A's every time because I'm crazy. No, I shouldn't use that word. That's a problematic word. I am hyper controlling of my Sims. And so mine always get like straight A's and it's great. I like that pack. I like for stuff packs, something that Sims 4 has done is they have community voted stuff packs. So they'll let the community vote over the course of, I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 months. They'll pose a question like, of these categories or these themes, what does the community want? So they did one where there was a lot of different stuff, but knitting ended up being, or not knitting, I think it was arts and crafts was the winner. So then they took that idea and they ran with it a bit, and then they came up with, of these craftable items, which one would you want in the game? And knitting ended up being the winner. So then they came up with art styles, and we voted on the art styles. And so they did like 3 or 4 votes, maybe 5 votes, right down to the image icon that the game uses. We were able to vote. And so Nifty Knitting came out, and it was something that the community kind of piece built along with the developers, and it was fun. The other one that we have like that is Laundry Day. I love the Laundry Day stuff pack. There are no words. I just love it. You can do laundry in The Sims. What? Oh my gosh. But that one was also a community voted one where they picked that. And I think that's really cool. And I want another one. I'm itching for another community voted pack here.
Ooh, that'll be
I forgot
fun.
about the laundry one. I saw
Laundry's
that today
good.
and I was like,
Get it.
why
Get
do
it.
they
You will
have
not regret.
hampers if you
Yes.
don't have a washing machine without this pack?
Mhm. Get
That
it.
was my
It's
first question. I
fantastic.
will get it. I saw a skirt in that pack that I was like, oh, I need it for my farm
Yeah.
girl life. So
Oh, absolutely. That one goes really well with the cottage living. I mean, that's another thing I love is I love to find the packs that go well together. And when I'm doing my builds, a lot of builders on YouTube tend to do like pack restricted builds. Like we're going to do a bowling night stuff and tiny living because those both have mid-century modern pieces in them. And that's fun. It's nice to do your challenge where you have a limited scope of the catalog, which honestly, when I started playing a few years in, it was very overwhelming because there was so much stuff that was in the game that I kind of did have to start building with just 1 or 2 packs so that I could learn what's in the catalog. And, there's so many toilets. Which ones do I want to use? That kind of thing. Another reason that's really good to do pack restricted builds is some people don't have all of the games. So to be able to build something that you put on the gallery for people to download into their own games, it's nice when you have a pack restricted build like that people that only have those games can then find something and download it into their game and not be missing a whole bunch of stuff. So there's something to be said for that. But when I'm doing my builds, I like to use everything at my disposal, and I like to find ways to kind of if I'm building a child's room, I don't want to just use the kids' room stuff pack. I want to take pieces from like 4 or 5 different games and put them together. And I feel like I'm more of a designer that way, maybe. But it's a lot of fun to pick and choose and look for good connections and
That
pairings.
that is exactly how I do it. Like my house that I made has the tiny house living stuff, the
Hmm,
cottage life stuff, and decor to the max stuff in it, and it
love that
just
one.
somehow looks all
It
nice
looks good.
together.
Oh, you
Yeah.
feel so accomplished. There are some, like, I did a build on my channel. I think it's on my channel. It was one of the last ones I did where I did do like a bowling night stuff mixed with, I think, tiny living. No, it might have been the Get Famous pack also has some mid-century modern pieces, and I want to say I did Get Famous with tiny with a bowling night, which are two very weird combinations. I just don't love the house that I built. I'm not proud of it. I don't like it. I think it's ugly. I still posted the video and still uploaded it onto the gallery just to remember, to humble myself a little bit. But so they're not all good. They're not all bangers, but it's fun to try. And when it does work out, oh, you feel so proud of yourself.
I love it. I love the idea of like starting small to learn the mechanics of building the game, of building
Hmm.
in the game, and then working your way up to where, it's like, yeah, okay, I know that in this little area here, I have this one item and that I can connect it to that one here to make this room fit together to work, make this whole
Yes.
house look exactly like how I want it to.
Hmm.
But honestly, I'm a prefab.
Oh, you are?
I am like a download a house from the gallery and then I'll play that, or I will kick a family out of the house that they are living in and then I will move
Mhm.
my characters in just
Love
because
it.
I'm here for what my Sims are gonna do. And
You want
sometimes
the
it's fun.
gameplay.
Yeah, sometimes it's fun to put them in a restrictive house.
Hmm.
I remember one time I kicked the broke family out of their house and moved them into something really nice.
Uh-huh.
But that I then stuck my Sims in there and was like, all right, we're gonna play this my way and see if you can survive.
I love living in a grungy trailer. Oh, yeah,
Yep.
it's so great.
Like reliving those struggling early youth days.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, were you guys aware of the Sims reality show that came out not too long ago during the pandemic?
I'm okay, wait. If what I'm hearing is what I'm thinking, it's like they film their Sims playing as if it's a reality show. Is that what they did?
No, that'd be kind of cool. But no, there was an
Oh,
actual like reality show that was kind of like Project Runway or whatnot, for Sims content creators. A lot of them were people that we knew in the community who have YouTube channels that we just followed, and some others were new to me. But it was like a contestant type reality show. It was only 4 episodes, which was a disappointment to me. But every episode they eliminated a team of like 4 or 5 players. It's called Sparked. I want to say it was TBS, but I don't want to misspeak about what network it was on. But it was like 4 episodes long, and they had different challenges, like how to. They kind of for a while there, the Sims team was really big on dividing the players into 3 camps. Are you a builder? Are you a cast person? Create a Sim. That's what that is. If for anybody who doesn't know what cast means, for me to keep saying it over and over again. But are you into create a Sim? Are you into designing your Sims, doing their makeup, doing their hair, picking their clothes? Are you a builder, or do you like the gameplay, the storytelling of it? And so my question for you guys is, which one are you? Are you a builder? Do you like the story, or do you love just making your Sims and create a Sim? If you had to pick one, I know a lot of us are all of them, but if you had to pick one, if you're going to be in one of those 3 teams, because the thing is on Sparked, they had 4 teams, and each team had one of each of those parts, and they had to work together to compete these challenges.
I'm a story. Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm not a
it's so
builder.
funny. It's so funny because I am such a story person with every game I play other than The Sims, but I think the thing I do the most is build houses. So I
Hmm.
think I'm gonna have to pick that, even though I love Cass as well.
Yeah.
But my joy definitely comes in making the house.
Hmm.
So Gonna have
I
to pick
think
that
I'm
one.
story two, but house would be a very close second because I have these storylines in my head. These characters are real to me. I have a spreadsheet where I have them all listed. I have their ages. I have all of their details in a spreadsheet so that when I'm trying to wrangle all 150 characters, it's easy to remember now because we have the different life stages. We have toddler, child, teen, all the way up to elder. But for me, when I'm playing, just because I have two teams doesn't mean they're going to be in the same generation. Because for me, when I'm playing, I consider 14 to be a teenager. So when they reach 14 on my spreadsheet, I age them up from a child to oops, I'm sorry. I age them up to a teenager. And then I play that through till about 18 or 19, depending on if I send them to college or not. And I don't want a 19-year-old and a 14-year-old to start dating in my game. So I have to track their ages so that I don't accidentally get two together that I don't really mean to or it's not realistic. So I love my spreadsheet, and I think because of that, I have to say I'm a storyteller as well.
I definitely do that though. Like the one I made her, I named her Willow Breeze because I wanted her to be like a hippy dippy girl. And then I'm like, the only thing she kept from her restrictive religious childhood is her violin. She lost all her other identity, but she still plays the violin. And then
Cool.
I put her on a violin. I was like, here you go, practice. And it was just like, "Ah, ah, ah, ah." I'm like, okay, so she forgot all the
You're
violin as
like
well.
sound off.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know. I always do that too. I always give them a little backstory in my head.
Mhm.
It's so fun. But
You
yeah,
should
I
get
mean,
the movie hangout stuff pack because that's a very bohemian vibe. And I
hmm,
built like a hipster trailer, and I used a lot of that stuff in my build. So I think you would like the content for that.
I got a shopping list for
Yeah,
Sims 4 in
yeah,
my head right now.
yeah.
Yay. But I guess on that note, we've been talking for a long time.
Like
I'm
hour
sure
and a
Jen needs
half.
to eat
I
Yes.
could
dinner
go on and on
still.
and on. So yeah,
And you still have to go to work tonight.
it's fine. I have to eat and then go to work. But I'm gonna play The Sims because I work overnight, and I work in the hospitality field right now. I'm working as a hotel night auditor. It's just my second weekend job, but most of the time when I show up, all of my guests have arrived. So it's just me for 8 hours at a hotel front desk, and I'm gonna play The Sims. So I'm excited to. This really inspired me to kind of get into the game because a lot of the times what will happen is I'll load up my game. It takes a minute for it to load because it's an older computer, and then by the time I load the game and on the screen of all my families, I'm like, well, which one do I want to play? Do I want to play the wealthy aristocratic family? Because I just finished watching Downton Abbey, so that really inspired me to do a lot of those grand families. Or do I want to do like the couple that just are newlyweds and they moved into their starter home and they're gonna have their first baby? And I started with a really dumpy apartment and now I want to upgrade things every paycheck. Like which play style do I want to use? And so I'm so exhausted from the anticipation of the game loading that by the time the game loads, I'm like, all right, I'm done. Time to power it down.
Oh.
So hopefully that doesn't happen at work tonight and I can just play for the whole night.
Hmm. Maybe you should make me.
You know what? Maybe I will. Maybe I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of people that are like either self inserts or people that I know. I'm a name guy too. I love, like I mentioned with Mary Ellen and Kay, those were meaningful names to me. And so I love finding a way to, honor people. In fact, there was a while ago that this is going to take a turn and I apologize. There was a while ago where on my Facebook, I was posting like daily tributes to people who had passed away in uh, shootings, like mass shootings. And so I would focus on the person and tell their story from articles that I found online, just because back when it was still a huge issue, and it still is a huge issue, but when it was just like every time you turn around, there's another school incident or a mall incident or a movie theater incident. I was like, I hate everything about this. So what can I do? And I just would do a tribute for these people. Well, a lot of their names I ended up making characters in The Sims because I felt like, you know what, I'm gonna create a character and live their life, and I'm gonna honor this person by putting their name in. So I have a character named Sharonda, and I had another character with the last name Scholes. Like it's meaningless in the grand scheme of things, but for me it felt meaningful, and I liked being inspired by names that way. So yeah, I guess in short, Genesis, maybe I will make you, and we'll see what kind of character you have. I have one girlfriend who she's one of my lesbian friends and she has two sons. And so I ended up kind of making a family that was inspired by her and her story. And so while their names were all different and their characters looked nothing like her family, their story and their family dynamic was inspired by her real life. And then she and her partner ended up adopting a child. And so I asked her, I sent her a text and said, hey, if you were going to have a daughter, what would her name be? And so she told me Calliope. And so I named the baby Calliope.
Aw.
Back in The Sims 2, when I had both of my sisters that I made my whole family, they both would get married and have kids. I would text them every time, hey, you're having a son. What would you name your real life son? And so, and now a few generations in, I'll text my sister, hey, so what would you want your granddaughter's name to be? So I don't remember again what this tangent was stemmed from, but I enjoy playing. Oh, yeah. Yes, I'll make you Genesis, I guess was the short way of. Easy,
Yeah, that
challenge
was
accepted.
that was the challenge, or that was the tangent.
That sure was. Mhm.
That's what I did with my, I mean, it's very to a lesser degree, but I made my two cats, well, inspired by my two cats for my two ladies that I made the other day. But I named my black cat, his name is Mary, as in like Mary Doc Brandy Buck from Lord of the Rings. But I called him Potato Stew in The Sims because I was calling my sweet potato. And then my Ollie, his name's Oliver Danger Soft Paws, that's his full name. But I call him Satan incarnate in The Sims because
Oh my
that
God.
is what he is.
Did you give him evil
Yeah.
characteristics and traits?
No, so what I did, they didn't have evil for a cat, but
Oh,
they
that's
had
surprising.
not I
Oh,
know. But
They
you mean
might.
you
I made him
actually made your
territorial.
cats? I thought you made people based off of your
No,
cat's
I made actual
personalities.
cats because I have pets. No, I made him clever, aloof, and territorial because it's
Mhm.
all him. And then Mary, who is potato stew, I made him affectionate, a glutton because my cat's fat. And what was the what? Oh God, what was the third one? I don't know, something silly.
Mhm.
Probably needy or whatever. He's a little shadow. I'm actually surprised he's not in my lap right now because he usually is. But yeah, and so fun. It's funny because that's what I like about having the pet traits is I did it so well that they behave very
Yeah,
similarly to my real life cats and
I love
like
that.
stupid Ollie's on the counters in Sims, just like he is in real life. And Mary's eating food he shouldn't be eating. And I'm just like, this is great. I
I
love
love
this.
Who
Even my
knew that
kid.
watching virtual cats and watching virtual laundry would be like the epitome of entertainment? But like it is.
Yeah. I'm like doing laundry all the time and it's not fun in real life, but it's fun on The
I have a load on
Sims.
my bed. I'm like, how do I angle the camera so my pile of laundry is not visible?
Yeah, exactly. Or I'm like, oh, well, I gotta watch her take a bath, I guess, because she just jogged for 45 minutes,
Mhm.
more like 4 hours. I don't know. She got carried away. But yeah, I don't know. I don't jog for 4 hours, that's for sure.
No.
But yeah, I mean, well, I thought we were almost over, but then Jen disappeared. Oh, Jen's back.
Because I started choking on pizza and didn't want to do that on camera.
Pizza sounds good.
Please don't choke on pizza. Yeah, pizza does sound good.
Well, I
Oh,
don't know how much of your script we got through, you guys. I'm sorry that I just talked ad nauseam about this game, but
That's the
thank you
whole
again for having
point.
me on. Oh my gosh, I could talk about it forever, and it's a special interest for me.
hmm. Yeah, no, the script was basically just there of like, hey, here are actual facts about the game, but
Mm.
we went over that in a much more entertaining way. We
Okay,
just kind of
okay. As
ran
long as
through all
it's
the games.
entertaining and not boring. So. It's just
I
in my
think
real
this,
life when I talk about The Sims, people don't seem very entertained. I don't know if it's fair. That's one of the reasons I made my YouTube channel is I'm like, I feel like I have a part of the conversation. I have an opinion on this. I want to share with like-minded folks, and so that's why I made my channel. And yeah, I haven't
yeah.
posted in a minute. I want to start again, but that's why, because in real life, people aren't as interested in this stuff. So I'm glad you guys are.
Oh, I totally am. Sims is like a big comfy sweater for our generation, I feel like.
100%. Hmm.
We all have played it and we all come back to it eventually. I feel like it's just a nice, comfortable thing. And I know you plugged yourself in the beginning, but if everyone forgot, your YouTube channel is
Tim Pancakes.
Tim
So
Pancakes.
yeah. There's a family in the Sims 4 that's the Pancakes family. So that's where that name kind of came from. It was the night before I was debuting my channel, and I still needed to pick a name. And I was on the phone with my friend, and I'm like, I'm pushing my first video tomorrow, but I need to come up with a channel name. And I was like, it'd be kind of cool to use like a name that's in The Sims, but we have to really think about this because I don't want to be like Tim Pancakes or something. And here we are. So find me as Tim Pancakes on YouTube, and most of my content is The Sims, but I very strategically did not make my channel like Timmer the Simmer or something like that because I was like, my name rhymes. I have to use this somehow, but I wanted to use a name that kind of nods to it, but opens it up to other things, so I could do things like my Pixar ranking. So, I have interest in The Sims, Pixar. I'm into the MCU too, and I probably want to do a ranking of all those. I just need to do a rewatch, which will take a little bit of time probably. So if you have interest in any of those fandoms or Harry Potter or anything like that, come and check me out.
Uh, absolutely. And the next time you're down in Portland, we'll go watch Doctor Strange together.
100%. I'll come down. My dad and I are actually going on a road trip to Disney. We're going to pass through Portland. So probably not on that trip. That's next week. But I do want to come down, and we can definitely do something like that. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yay. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here tonight, and big, massive loves to you. But if you liked what you heard tonight, please be sure to leave a review on iTunes or give us a rating on Spotify and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find me in our Two Girls One Ship chat on the Robots Radio Discord channel, and come give us a follow on all the social medias and on Patreon at Two Girls One Ship. Links to those are in the description.
And I'm on the Robots Radio Discord as well, but we also have our own Two Girls One Ship Discord server now, where we can nerd out on all our favorite CGI'd significant others. Be sure to check out our live stream on Twitch and YouTube on Fridays at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time. As you know, our podcast episodes release on Mondays because you need at least one good thing on a Monday. All links, once again, are in the description.
So thanks for listening. And remember,
Beauty is in the eye of the controller.
yay!
Yay! Finn.
And
Yay.
now,
I get so jealous thinking about Disney World or Disneyland. Ugh. I grew up in Los Angeles.
Excited. I'm so excited.
I grew up in LA, and I miss Disneyland so much, and I miss the West Coast so much. So next year. Pizza. Are you done streaming? Did we end?
We're still live.
Oh,
but
okay.
now that we're not podcasting anymore, I'll eat.
No, I know. I just want to make sure because I don't want to say a ton of personal stuff if we were streaming.
Yeah, I'm so excited. My dad and I are going to road trip together. He just finished radiation for cancer, and he is in remission. So we're doing like a family. My sister and her kids are going to fly down, and my dad and I are driving down. We're just going to do a big celebration. And so I cannot wait. I might try vlogging it, and maybe that'll be on my channel. We'll see. I mean, I'm just kind of letting myself do whatever.
Have you driven down the West Coast before to that far down?
Once upon a time, I was a hotel inspector, and I would travel I would travel all over the country to inspect and secret shop hotels. And so there have been times where I would drive from Washington, where I live, down to through Oregon to California. Usually, if I was going to Southern California, I would fly. But I know the route well, so it'll be a fun trip. I'm excited.
That's good. Yeah, because I grew up in LA and my grandma lived in Portland, so I've done that drive a million times growing up. I was about to say,
a lot of nothing in the Oregon stretch.
Yeah, there is, but
it's like, oh, okay.
If you at least have time for it, I would take the 101, so you at least have some pretty stuff to look
on
at.
The way home, I think we want to just get there on the way down. But then my dad is like, and it's really cute. He's being really excited, like, okay, well, maybe we can stop and do these sightseeing things, or take the 101 back. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So
have you been to Monterey, California before?
I want to say I did 2 inspections there, but I don't remember anything about it. So I'm sure I've been, but I can't.
Highly recommend stopping there if you have a chance, or stopping not too far. I think it's a little bit south of Monterey. Oh my gosh, the Hearst Castle.
Okay, that sounds
Oh my
amazing.
God, Hearth Castle is, I have no idea what's going on with like COVID and stuff with it,
Sure,
but
who knows? Yeah.
oh my God, it's such a cool place and it's a little bit south of Monterey. I think it's close to, well, what's that called? I can't
Hmm.
remember. Anyway, Hearst Castle. You look that up. I
Okay,
can't remember the
that
town
sounds
that it's
like
in.
something I would totally love to visit too.
Yeah,
So,
it's
and,
it's
and then build to visit.
really cool. It's especially if you just watch Downton Abbey, that is
Oh
like
yeah.
the
Oh,
perfect place to go. Like it's like our own little taste of
that sounds so
like
great.
the Abbey in
I love that.
California.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I just
Or
I
Trees
yeah,
of Mystery at the top
okay.
of California, big redwood forest like
Mhm.
sightseeing place. That's my
Okay.
one. Yeah, we always would stop there. Going, it's like my favorite memory. That's I love the Pacific Northwest because of the trees.
Oh yeah.
So
We
I
are so
can't wait to.
fortunate here. I've pretty much always lived in the Pacific Northwest, and but when I was doing the traveling, it was really great to see other parts of the country, and this made me really
Yeah.
love coming back home. So,
Yes. So because I was in the military, my husband is in the military. We were stationed in San Diego before here,
mm,
which obviously I loved because it was basically where I was from.
sure.
And then we're now in Florida, and we
Here's me there
drove.
too.
Not where I'm at.
Oh,
It's a
God.
bit far from where I'm at, but um, just the drive across the country, it's the very bottom of the country. But I was like, oh my God, there's nothing here.
Yeah.
There's nothing but like windmills, not
Uh-huh.
windmills, but like, the for the wind turbines for
The turbines, the white
in
ones.
Texas, like, oh my God, there's no mountains, which is
Hmm.
shocking to me because I'm very used to mountains.
Uh-huh.
And nothing. And now I'm in Florida and I've had one hurricane, which is horrible. There's no hills even.
So,
There's giant bugs. And I'm like, wow, it
I
feels like a different
know.
planet. And we're in
I
the
feel
same
like we don't
country.
really have the same natural disaster threats here.
No.
Everywhere else it's like hurricanes, other things,
Tornadoes,
tornadoes, and I'm like, we got nothing. We
fire.
have the volcano, I guess, but yeah, and there are
Yeah.
the fires that happen every summer, I suppose. But
Yeah. And I grew
and
up with
then
earthquakes, and everyone's so
yeah,
afraid of earthquakes if they didn't grow up in an area where they're
yeah, no, I
common.
guess
But I'm like,
nothing. Just mount your
I,
television, you'll be fine.
yeah, I was like, I mean, I did live through the Northridge 1994 earthquake, which is like the worst one of my
Mhm.
lifetime, but
Oh,
those are rare. So, what's the chances of it happening again in the same spot?
exactly, it happened. But it was Mount St. Helens blowing in Washington. Like that happened in the '80s. We're good for
Yeah,
a lifetime.
a long time. Yeah. Yeah. I know my mom, she wants to move up there too when we next year, that's what we're doing.
Mm.
Thankfully. Can't wait. I cannot wait. Yeah, I know. Because I've never actually met Jen in real life, only through the internet. So I can't wait. Yeah,
Jen is
to
good
pet
people.
Maya.
Aw,
I can
thanks.
tell.
And I can tell
Um,
you are too. So yeah,
Thanks.
be my friend. Be my friend.
Yeah, that I'm actually moving to Washington, so
Oh,
I'm not sure
awesome.
exactly where you are, but I think I'll be closer to Jen than
I'm
you
off
though.
the
yeah.
I-5, so yeah,
Yeah,
I'm pretty close.
just anywhere on the I-5.
Yeah.
And then we will have a big like family gathering where it'll be you, me, Yuri. We'll get Tim down here now too, and then we'll get Cloudy and Sam and Navi and anybody else who's like in the greater. If you're in Oregon or Washington, we'll pretty much have a little podcast get together.
That'd be
That'd be so
awesome.
fun.
I'm
Yeah.
there.
Let me move first.
Well,
We
yeah,
have to
you
move
got to
our
get
five
here
We don't
first.
animals.
practice here, the
A
FOMO. Let's
toddler.
do it without you.
Yeah. I'm excited for the drive there though, because I'm like, oh, it's gonna be prettier than the drive here. And my mom was like, no, no, the Great Plains. You have to drive through the plains. And I'm like,
Oh,
oh, I do.
Yeah.
Because I'm going like diagonally up. So I'm like, okay,
Hmm.
the last couple days of our trip will be really pretty.
yeah.
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah, to take a
Yeah.
lot, listen to a lot of podcasts on our
Hmm.
trip. I'm planning on, doing a lot of listening and whatnot. I'm kind of bummed that I finished Downton Abbey because I could have just watched that on the road trip, but now I haven't. I'll watch something else.
Have you seen The Gilded Age? Because along the
No.
same vein, it's on HBO. There's
Okay.
only one season out so far. It's new, but oh my gosh, Gilded Age. Highly recommend that you
Our
watch that.
Sounds
flag
good.
means death.
Or
Our
Our Flag
flags
Means
means
Death.
death.
That's another
Great.
show, or is that
Also
a
on
quote from the
HBO.
Gilded Age? Okay.
Yeah. Yep. That one and
Okay.
another one on HBO. I don't know. I'm a huge like because what is that movie called? Julie and Julia came out
Okay.
when
I've
I was in
heard
high
of it.
school. And I was like, oh my gosh, Julia Child, who is she? And I found out and I got her vintage cookbooks and they just released a Julia show on HBO. It's
Uh-huh.
so good.
I heard that. What was I
So,
watching or listening to? Was it you guys? Have you mentioned this already?
What?
did we?
Maybe it was someone else. I was watching something or listening to something at work today, and they mentioned this new Julia show. So it probably wasn't you guys. Maybe it
I
was
don't
someone else.
know. I mean, I have talked about it before, but I don't know about on the podcast. I can't remember who
Okay,
I tell things to. It's like a
sure.
neurological problem, I feel like
Yep,
for
me
me.
too. Yep, yep.
But yeah, no, it's so cute. But definitely start with Gilded Age because that's like top. Well, actually, Our Flag Means Death is also super, super good.
Those
So
both
You
sound like
watched
very
it
I
too,
Games of
V?
Thronesy type shows, which I
I
also
haven't finished
loved.
it, but I started watching it. Yeah, it's
Okay.
so good.
Well, we
It's
have HBO, so there you go. I'll check them
Yeah.
out.
shit, Tim, don't play Sims tonight. Watch Our Flag. Like
Or
seriously.
Oh,
Minx.
but that should
Minx
feel
is
like a
also on
fire to
HBO.
play. I feel like I need to embrace it. I can always
Mm,
like play the game on my computer and watch something on my phone. So
no.
I'll maybe do
No,
that.
it
Oh, I
is
should
a
focus.
focus. It's not like a story. Okay. Let me phrase this the best way possible.
Can't even call it a comedy, even though it kind of is, but
Mm,
it's also not. It's hard to
You
explain.
will want to focus on the story.
Oh, okay. All right.
Keep doing
And
it.
Yeah,
how many seasons is the Flag one?
just
One.
one. And they're like 30
They're
to
all new.
45 minutes up at 30 to 45 minutes and I think there's less than 10 episodes.
I was gonna say
Yep.
the new standard is like 9 or 10 episodes a season, which I hate. I missed the
Yeah.
24 episode,
Yeah.
season
Well,
that I can binge.
it's okay if like for I think the Gilded Age, some of them are even an hour and a half, I think. So
Okay.
like when the episodes are that
So,
long, 10 is
yeah,
okay.
sure, fair
But
enough. Okay,
yeah,
I'll
watch
check those
those.
both out.
Sorry if you can hear my rabbit. He's chewing a paper towel roll that he just put in his water bowl. He's the black blob. His name is Sirius, and then
Oh,
Sirius Black, and then
love
it's
that.
Azkaban.
Oh
Let's
my
see.
gosh, that's funny.
Let's Not says that Our Flag is 10 episodes and each are about 22 minutes long.
Yeah, they're very short.
So that'd be a quick watch then. Yeah, I can do that.
Mhm.
All right,
No.
I'll check them both out.
Okay. All right, report back
Yay.
to me.
I sure will. I sure will.
Okay.
Right now, I was juggling the 3 shows I was juggling, depending on my mood, was Bob's Burgers, Breaking Bad, and Downton Abbey, which are very different shows.
I love Downton
so-
Abbey and Breaking Bad. I unfortunately cannot. I don't know. I think maybe I'm over it now. I don't know. But like, this is a really weird tangent. But like, my first boyfriend, who was like the worst person ever, his aunt is a voice actress and she is in Bob's Burgers, and I could
Oh,
never watch
really?
it because it was like he was very proud of her.
Yeah, I got
And he
you.
would make me watch everything she was in. And so I'm sad because I know Bob's Burgers is great, but
Yeah.
and it's been a long time since that happened. But like I still have
Okay.
not watched it, which is a downer. Sorry, everyone. But like
Hey,
that just made me remember that when I was like,
sorry to bring that up.
no, it's fine. Like I said, everyone loves Bob's Burgers. I'm sad that I don't. But
Well,
I don't
the
know.
first time I tried it, I didn't like it. I was like, this is dumb. Because I'm not big into like, fart joke humor, and one of the characters on
Yeah.
the show is very pro that type of stuff. And so I was like, I'm not into it, it's fine. And so then years later, my sister and my niece, who at the time was like 6 or something, loved it. And so I started watching with them and I'm like, oh, this is great. I love it. So now I'm all about it. So my tastes have changed over the last decade, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. My sister keeps trying to get me to watch The Office, and I
That was another one.
haven't.
Took me a second time around to come around on it.
Yeah, definitely Schitt's Creek though. I like got really into very fast, and Parks and Rec I liked back in the day. But I don't know why I just never
Yeah,
could get. My sister's like, you have to get through the first season of The Office, then it's fine.
I know, but
And I
yeah.
hate when people say that though, because I'm like, why? Well, if it's not good at the beginning, like,
Why would I want to keep going?
well, yeah, what's the
Yeah,
motivation?
I completely get you.
Maybe
But it's
someday I
true
will
though.
when
Well,
I run out of
something
things.
that I love is the Office Ladies podcast, where Jenna and Angela, who are 2 characters on The Office, are doing a rewatch where they rewatch every episode and they talk about behind the scenes things. And that's
Oh,
been very interesting.
I'll
Dave
tell my sister about it.
Yeah, she might already even know. It's
Yeah,
called
she
The
might.
Office Ladies. And so what you could potentially try doing is maybe listening to an episode of that, the first episode where they talk about the pilot, and maybe knowing some of that behind the scenes stuff will make it more interesting to you. I don't know. It's a little bit
Yeah,
of knowing how the sausage is made kind of things.
maybe. I don't know. I'm watching Peaky Blinders right now. So after that, maybe I'll start that again.
But my list of to watch stuff is so long.
It's longer now.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. But I'll bump those two to the top of the list. So,
You can save Gilded Age for your drive because I think it's
okay.
long enough that
That'll
it
be a
would be
good drive
good.
one. Okay, that'll
Well,
be
it'll
good.
be part of the drive. That's a long, long drive. So
Yeah. And I'll be
you'll
driving some of it, and my dad won't want to be listening to that, I'm sure. And he probably won't let me drive with headphones in. So,
they even have a associated like actually they have it for Julia too. They have a podcast for the Gilded Age, which I listen
interesting.
to. It's really cool because they did I don't know. I'm a huge like history, especially when it comes to costuming and like
Mhm.
they did such a good job. Like some of the stuff, even in the houses, they found actual antique furniture or they found actual fabric from them that they
I
either
love that.
recreated or made the costumes from. Yeah, like and no one watching the show would know that unless you
No,
watch the behind the scenes stuff. And I'm like, look at the effort they went to. That is
I love
amazing. And
that
you
so
can
much.
tell, even if you don't know the details, you can just see it in the show. You're like, wow, this is like a time
It's
machine.
authentic. Yeah.
You can just feel it.
Interesting.
So it's super cool. I like that show. It's great.
Okay. I'll check about that and report back for sure.
hmm
Yay. I know that you've
Okay.
got to go to work, and I need to finish this
Yeah.
pizza because it's gotten cold.
I guess my brother just ordered pizza, so I'm gonna go have a slice of my own.
Yay.
But
Fucking
thank you guys for having me on. And again, I'm sorry I talked so much, but I hope that you can make sense of it.
It's like the
And
whole point of you coming on was for you
okay,
to talk
good.
a lot.
yep.
Well, hopefully it was knowledgeable enough, and I'm not like a poser. But it was a lot of
No way.
fun. I just love chatting with you guys about it. So thanks again for having me.
Thank
Absolutely. And we'll
you.
have you back on whenever Sims 5 comes out.
Oh,
Or
yeah,
if
Yeah,
I'm
like a new
there.
major game breaking expansion pack comes out that you have to talk about.
Absolutely. And
hopefully soon.
yeah, maybe I'll do well with like a focused topic. So we'll see. I'm sure I'll still bring up things like school shootings on that too, though. So I guess
Oh
I'm
my
sorry.
gosh, it's fine. That's what we do.
Yep.
Okay, good. I'm in good company. All right, well, I'll let you guys go and I'll go eat some pizza. But thanks again.
Okay.
Have a wonderful night. And
Bye.
until next time. All
Bye.
right. Ooh, you know, one thing I always say on the end of my videos, sorry, again, is instead of that's a wrap, I say that's a stack, like a stack of pancakes.
Oh
So I'm
my
just going to say
gosh.
that's a stack, and I'll see you guys next time.
Such a dork, and I love it.
I
I,
love